Have you ever wondered if a single small question could flip your life from waiting to winning? Jack had been living on autopilot for a year's steady job, cautious habits, the same route to work, the same weekend routine comfortable in a way that felt like a cushion, but also like a cage. That steady life acted as a bridge. It connected his past choices to a predictable future, but it also hid an entire world of possibility behind a thin layer of habit, unread emails, and the polite excuses he used to protect his comfort. Then something unusual happened. An old college friend reached out with a casual invite to collaborate on a side project, and without thinking, Jack almost said no. For a moment, he pictured the familiar script: polite decline, quick exit, back to routine, but instead he surprised himself and typed simply, "Tell me more." That tiny, out-of-character reply cracked the surface of his usual safety and immediately raised tension. Months of careful avoidance, overdue bills, and a steady inner voice warning him of risk now pressed hard against a sudden new opening. He lay awake that night replaying 100 worst-case scenarios. What if the project failed and cost him money? What if friends judged him for leaving the familiar? What if he couldn't handle the extra hours? Those doubts were loud and convincing, and for a moment, they nearly pushed him back into the safe harbor he knew. But beneath that noise, something quieter spoke curiosity, an itch he hadn't felt in years. The solution Jack chose was neither dramatic nor reckless. It was methodical and humble. He committed to a 5-stage habit. Each morning he would set one small positive expectation. He would journal one idea for 5 minutes. He would take one action toward that idea. He would record the outcome, and he would ask, "What did I learn?" He treated his life like a lab and himself like a scientist testing hypotheses, instead of a prisoner waiting for life to hand him permission. At first, the experiments failed often. A prototype crashed in front of users, a pitch elicited silence, and an important conversation backfired. Each failure stung, but because he measured results and iterated, he turned pain into protocol. He learned practical lessons. Shorten your pitch to 30 seconds. Practice the hardest sentence until it feels comfortable. Invite one person into your idea who is allowed to say honest feedback. Small changes multiplied. A colleague who once avoided him now stayed late to help refine the product. An investor who initially ghosted replied after he sent a concise update showing progress. His partner, skeptical at first, warmed when she saw his consistency and the way he handled setbacks without collapsing. Over months, the momentum accumulated into tangible gains. A side project that turned into a paying client, a new confidence that made meetings less terrifying, and a clearer internal map of what worked for him. The outcome was not a fairy tale overnight success, but a steady rerouting of his life's direction. Problems still arrived. Unexpected expenses, team conflicts, nights he doubted everything, but they no longer stopped him. Instead, they became puzzles he could solve because he had built a practice for experimenting and learning. The peak of Jack's change was subtle and human. He stopped waiting for permission and began offering himself generous, small chances. So here's the curiosity that should make you pause. What if your safety rituals are quietly stealing your future? And a single brave question each morning is the safest experiment you can run? Try it for 30 days. Commit to one modest question and one tiny action, and watch what small, consistent adjustments reveal. In just 90 days, the cumulative effect became visible. Jack doubled the number of people testing his product, converted 2 longtime skeptics into collaborators, and most importantly reclaimed a sense of agency he had forgotten he owned. The change felt less like winning and more like learning how to show up again. If you want to see how small experiments shape real outcomes, try copying his routine. Ask, act, record, learn, and notice what doors start to appear. If this story landed with you even a little, hit subscribe and keep following. The next story will be another practical step you can try tomorrow.